of the United States, as you know, we are entering into war with Germany. As it currently stands, our national deficit is at 25% of our national GDP, and our national debt is at $26 billion.
Well, it's the end of the Great War. We finally defeated the Axis powers. It cost us $32 billion, and we were only here for a couple of years, but we saved the whole world, so that's America.
So we're going from now my foxhole, do we win?
Yeah!
Yeah!
I heard President Wilson talking on the radio about how the deficit and the debt are increasing. Inflation is causing eggs to cost 47 cents a dozen. So I can't bake cakes anymore. And my husband is off at war, so he can't help contribute either. And on top of all of that, I don't have a voice because I'm a woman and I can't vote.
People of the United States, as we exit out of the Second Great War, our national debt is now at $242 billion. But we also have a national deficit exceeding our GNP by 29%. We must fix this.
Here we are, just defeated Deutschland. World War II is over. Hitler killed himself, and it only cost us $288 billion. So here we are, just picking off the stragglers.
Hey, look, there's a straggler!
This Second Great World War has drastically increased both the nation's deficit and the inflation rate. A dozen eggs now cost 53 cents. In addition, many women, myself included, have had to get jobs to help the war effort.
Hello, fellow Americans. In order to defeat the communist scum in Vietnam, we need to print and borrow money and not raise taxes.
Alright, we just got done in Nam. We just cleared out the jungles. It cost the government $111 billion, but you know, you gotta do what it takes.
Because we did not raise taxes during the Vietnam War, inflation is through the roof and our national debt stands at $436 billion. Also, we did not get rid of the communist scum.
The war in Vietnam has increased inflation and the national deficit, and a dozen eggs now cost 77 cents.
People of America, the Balanced Budget Act and Emergency Deficit Control Act have failed. We are going to have to postpone the balanced deficit until 1993. Because of high tax cuts and failure to agree on where to cut spending, our national debt has now been increased to $3.2 trillion.
When I came into office in 1989, the total public debt for the United States was $2.7 trillion. Now, as I am leaving in 1993, the total debt is $4.2 trillion. Now, I know $1.5 trillion doesn't really sound that good, but it's not really went how it was intended to go. Now, my son, he's my political advisor for this re-election campaign I just had. He's trying to step up his political game in the near future. And so, I'm not a psychic or anything, but maybe in 2000 he'll be running for president. And if you want the debt extra fixed, you should vote for him. Alright, we're posted in our base here in the Persian Gulf. We just won the war. It cost $60 billion, but we won, so that's all that matters. My fellow Americans.
Mr. President, wrong way.
Oh, I apologize. My fellow Americans, when I came into office in 2001, total national deficit for the United States of America was $5.7 trillion. Now, that's not acceptable, and I tried to change that by my new tax cuts and Operation Enduring Freedom, which cost $1.4 trillion. But unfortunately, in 2009, the total national deficit was $10.7 trillion. Now, I know America is the land of the free, home of the brave, and you know, I tried my hardest for you, America, but unfortunately my hardest was not good enough, and I apologize. God bless. SEAL Team 6 here. We just took out Osama. They're just compounding over there.
These warriors over here in the Middle East, since 2000, only cost us $1.6 trillion, but it's worth it because we got him.
Hello everyone, today we will be discussing our 4-point plan for solving the national deficit and debt crisis. The first thing that I propose is reforming Social Security. Rather than only having people pay on their first $100,000 made into Social Security, they should be paying on everything that they make for Social Security.
With the government spending so much on healthcare, we need to reform it. We need to reduce benefits for wealthy seniors.
With the 4.3 million American citizens receiving welfare, I suggest that we increase the requirements for welfare by making every citizen who's receiving welfare do 20 hours of community service. I also propose a tax hike for everyone who's making above $400,000 a year.
I propose that we reduce defense spending by withdrawing from Afghanistan within the next 2 years and avoiding any future unnecessary military conflicts.
Through government cooperation, we were able to decrease spending and increase our revenues to help solve this deficit. And with that, the debt crisis is solved.